Okay, so I managed to get some wood on this wall tent frame that my sister gave me. The intention of covering it with something that I can use to make this little greenhouse. I'm not at all certain if it's going to work, but I don't have enough money to get the acrylic panels that I thought I might be able to get. But I still have this roll of visqueen plastic. It's pretty thick stuff. I'm awfully certain, though maybe I'll just do the experiment, that the wind will just rip it to shreds if I put it up on here. But I'm going to give it a try. We'll see. Let's take a look. These plastic things over here, I put a little water in them and I put some avocado seeds that I had, and I'm trying to see if I can get them to grow. They've been inside my trailer with me, and now maybe the weather is getting good enough that it's not going to freeze so bad at night every night that they would just die outright. This thing here, in addition, I might as well talk about it, since I talked about it right after the greenhouse in like another video. That all right, these things are pretty sturdy, but I don't trust them. When I put the rafters across, I'm going to use 2x6s to make this roof. At least that's my plan. I don't trust the 12 foot by 12 foot roof that'll go over this 10 by 10. It's not really a square. It's just the idea of a square, because it's symbolic for me about the unity of reason and experience here. That I want something that's the idea of the square, but then reality imposes like something else other than the square. You still have the idea of the square, but then you have like what this really is, which is not truly a square. The roof will be square, but the underneath of it never really had to be. This was always intended to be more about art. Because crying out loud, you can't leave art out of your life. You know, just to have things be perfectly square. You're a fool if you do that. And, but I have discovered that, you know, I think the wind will take this roof off of here. And it'll probably peel, you know, these things with it. Even though they're on there pretty good, they're pretty stout, but they wouldn't, what the wind gets up to around here and the sail that it would make, you know, coming up underneath the roof, it would take that roof off of here, because you don't know what the wind is like around here. It's pretty brutal. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to form these up at these particular locations on here and, you know, over there, and get some thickness of concrete here. And then I'm going to, after it cures, I'm going to drill through with a masonry bit. One of the things I did before I ran out of money last year was I got myself at Harbor Freight a 1/2-inch chuck hammering drill that I know if I use the right masonry drill bit, I can get through that. And then put some all thread through there and have a 2x6 coming up that I can attach between the rafters that'll be going this way. and I can get that 2x6 with some supports this way, and then it shouldn't be able to lift, you know, because I think it'll pull those 2x4s off of there, and I'm not willing to engage in that experiment. I don't have enough confidence in that, so I'm just going to assume it won't ahead of time. Although, you know, the plastic tearing off of there is not, you know, that's not the horrible thing. That's not going to be a danger to everything else in my compound, you know. That won't fly in the air and land on top of the solar panels and break the absolute shit out of them, you know. That won't give up like this fucking truck over here and its transmission that's ratted out on me. Fucking Chevrolet 4L60E or whatever the hell that thing is. Didn't have enough fucking nuts to be able to haul that trailer over there. Yeah, it was supposed to be, you know, my ignorance. I paid attention to the rating. Don't do that. Don't haul anything that you don't have a rating that's like double or triple, I'll just tell you that. Or your transmission's going to be toast. So, I replaced the solenoids in it because that was what the code said, and then it just worked for about 2 more days and then died again. Went into third gear limp mode and wouldn't come out of it. So it'll go into third gear limp mode. I can use it to get around in. You know, I've gone and collected rocks in a few places because, you know, why not? Although I got to be careful with the rock collecting because the weather's getting warm now and it's got to be pretty damn cold to go and collect rocks because I have to take the dogs with me, you know. That is to say, I like to take them with me. And there are rattlesnakes out there now. And if it's warm enough, the rattlesnakes are active. And you have to be very careful about the life of those you love. It's very important to pay attention to that and not take the kind of chances where you could lose them.